What is going on, you guys, and welcome to Riding with Kev. To the new subscribers, welcome in. Usual suspects, welcome back. Today is a day I love because unlike that tune-up stuff, I get to do a really good upgrade, make a huge difference on my truck, and show you guys how to save a ton of money. So what I'm about to show you, as you saw in the title, if you just went and bought off the shelf on the internet, taxes and shipping would cost you about $1,600. I'm gonna do this whole thing for less than $250. And let me explain. You got to do you and what you want. One of the trends in my truck, and I'll show it in a minute, as you know, is I have the base model. Rubber steering wheel, 2-inch dash, display on my dash. Everybody likes to go to the Raptor steering wheel. It's a very easy to do adjustment, very easy. I won't spend even a whole lot of time on the steering wheel. But with those Raptor steering wheels going on, one, they have paddle shifters, which are plug-and-play harnesses that'll run you about $125. But I don't need paddle shifters. And I just want to upgrade from rubber to leather. But with all those guys doing the Raptor wheels, there are wheels everywhere. I'll go in a little more depth here in a minute, but I got this Lariat takeoff, still wrapped in plastic, came in a Ford Performance box from a guy who did it, and I scored it for $100. You can get them on eBay. I got mine on Facebook. Like I said, I'll go in and show you the differences here in a minute. This is just my overview. But $100, and I have a leather steering wheel. It has the trim, and it's so easy to move around that if I just wanted to take it off and sell it, I could get my money back out of it. But I think just going to the leather is going to make a huge difference. We'll go into more detail on that in a minute. And the other, as I'll show you, is I have the 2-inch display. Now, there are companies out there that you can absolutely 100% go to, and they will pre-program your miles and pre-program the engine hours, and it's just a plug-and-play deal, and they're $800 to $1,100. Well, I got this one, 8-inch full digital display, $125 shipped from a company called LKQ. And here's the thing, they produced millions of F-150s, F-250s, F-350s, and they all have the same dash. They mass produced. So they really are plug and play. And with a little bit of programming and Forescan, you can have what I'm going to have for about $250. So let's get into the video and start it out. All right, so here's my basic setup that I have now. As you can see, it is just a rubber steering wheel. This has a black trim on it. And then, you know, just your standard buttons, airbag, and then that is the 2-inch display. Unfortunately, this would be 10 times easier if I could take the steering wheel off and then do the dash while the steering wheel was out of the way. But you gotta kill the power of the steering wheel to take the airbag out. So I can't do that. But the fun thing is, and I'll show you, again, I'll take it out of the plastic here in a minute, but again, guess what? This steering wheel came out of an F-150. This is an F-250. It's the same wheel. Now the buttons are a little bit different because it was a Lariat. And you got to determine what, you know, your level of pain is. So mine has the mode button, which is like radio, you know, auxiliary, etc. But I leave mine on Bluetooth audio, so I don't really have to use that button. And my voice control for, hey, you know, for the sync is right there. But I use, hey, you know, so-and-so for all my voice stuff, so that doesn't really bother me either. And on the Lariat wheel, where your mode button would be is your voice control, and your mode button is here because it has the heated steering wheel. Now, for 300 and something bucks, you can get a heated steering wheel. But like I said, I live in Texas, and yeah, it was 85 yesterday, and it'll be 40 something today, but I just don't need the leather steering wheel, the heated steering wheel. But as you can see, this trim is actually dark, kind of like mine. So I'm actually gonna leave the trim on, and you can see on mine, it's got a little mark there, you know, on the edge from pressing forward and backwards. So I'll do a brief overview on the steering wheel because it's so stinking easy. What I'll basically do is show you, we're gonna take, the power's off, there's little holes, and hey, I can use this one right here on the back, and it pushes these clips that are down here where your airbag hooks in. You push those off, you've got 2 connections on the back of the airbag that are yellow that you unplug. There's a million videos. Your main harness there that you disconnect. Harness there, and that's a 15/16. You do that here, pull it off, exact process. It literally takes no time. I did it on a Ford Mustang. I put a GT350 steering wheel. So this is easy. We'll get to that. Then I'll bring you back and show you the completion of that, and then we'll hook the power back up and we'll get to the fun stuff, which is the dash. So talk to you in a minute. So literally, airbag connection main harness connection, little red wire. I just used a couple Allen keys here to pop the airbag out and unhook it. And use my pick to get this little red one. This red one was a little bit of a bear pick set. So take out 15/16 bolt. And this has been done a million times. Just trying to make sure I keep the steering wheel straight, because there are some clock springs in it. So, and it just, mine was already pretty loose. Pulls out. Set that to the side so that you can reinstall it if you ever sell the vehicle. Then fish this through the top onto the clock springs. I'm gonna get some Loctite for the bolt, put the airbag in, and it's done. So that's literally all there is to swapping one of these steering wheels. So mine has a little cord here, that's for the heated wheel. We're not going to use that, so that's no effect on us. This is the other connection. The new one was for the heated wheel. This one's for the heated wheel that we don't have. So that is literally all there is to it. Now to the fun stuff. Quick correction, I think I said it wrong and I forgot. That red connector is for your airbag. Yellow to the airbag, that's for the heated steering wheel that mine does not have. So it'll just stay neatly tucked. I'll tuck it back to that thing. Get thread locker, but hook it up. This install is done. Leather steering wheel in about 15 minutes for $100. All right, this may be a little lengthier portion of the video, so I told people to skip ahead. So I've got my truck on, and I've got my engine hours written down, and then I've got my miles written down for 148,725. The thing to remember with this is the dash you get has to have less miles than what your truck has, because you can adjust the miles up. I'm a Marine, I'm a Christian. We're doing this on the up and up, but you can adjust the miles up. You cannot adjust them down. So the dash I got has has 90,000. Mine has 148. I'm going to show you how to do all that, but we got our OBD2 connector hooked up to our computer. And so I'll put a link down for that this is a good little scanner for as cheap as it is. I'm going to open Forescan, and it opens up to my blank screen here. And so then I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to connect to the vehicle. The key is on, it's available, vehicle's not moving, okay. I could use a better connection, it's because I have to do adapters. So it's going to run its usual diagnostic checks. Make sure it can find everything. I'll get back to you once that's done loading up. All right, I cannot stress this first step more than anything. While the mileage is saved into the dash, all of the settings are saved into the computer. This is where Forescan is going to save us, because like I said, the dash we're putting in did not come out of this vehicle. So I've got Forescan open, and I'm going to go to right here, which is my configuration model. I'm looking for IPC, and then I want model configuration, and it says as built format. I'm going to click that, and then we're going to hit the play button. It's going to change in configuration, all that fun stuff. Okay, now the cool thing about this is right here down at the bottom, it says I can save all. Let me see if I can turn this and get you guys a little better view. Oh no, I didn't, not yet. Touchy mouse pad. Right here, it's going to say load all, or it says save all. I'm going to click save all. It's going to come up here, Forescan, and I'm going to save this is to something I can freaking understand besides all these numbers. You can change the file name, that's perfectly acceptable. So I'll change it to 2017 factory, if I can type, factory dash, say is 1, I think it's the 12th, we'll know what that is, 23. And I'm gonna hit OK. So now I have saved all the information on here out of this to Forescan. So I'm gonna disconnect from Forescan and pull the dash out. All right, so I've just pulled down this lower trim. There is a 7mm bolt that goes in here, and a 7mm bolt that goes in here, and you just pull the dash off like that. The little piece that goes back there, which I get to clean, is just connected by these little clips that plug in back in here. So now we've got 4 more 7mm bolts, and this will come out and there's one connection. And just like that, we have no instrument cluster. Let's go for a ride. Like I said, it is literally one clip. I didn't want y'all to see me struggling. It goes in there, but because I'm just a heck of a nice guy, again, the one I got from LKQ, they just pull it out. So now you can actually see the back. They left me a harness that I can't use. There's one tab and it pulls out. Plug and play. So let's get it in and then the fun starts. All right, it's in. Now, don't freak out. I'm gonna walk you through this. Turn the key on. Built Ford tough. Blind spot system fault. Cross traffic fault. Steering assist fault. Check the parking aid. I don't know why I flipped my turn signal on. That's because it's reading the data that is in it. Steering wheel assist. I guess this guy had power steering or power telescoping. It's got 90,000 miles, right? So now, we're gonna come back over here into Forescan, which I already have it connected. We're gonna connect to our vehicle. Well, it does that. I'll be back to you in a minute. Well, it's booting up. Y'all need to see all that. All right, it's back. Guess what? It found all the errors that we had found. So that's okay. So we go back over here, system configuration. And we're going back to the IPC, module configuration, as built format. We're going to play that just like we did the last time. We understand it. Okay, now what I want to do, as was pointed out, I'm going to save this. And this is going to be, just, you know, if I ever want to get rid of it or sell it, this was out of a 2018 F-150 dash. Again, I still don't even know the date. 1/12/23. All right, and we're going to save that. Okay, it saved it. So now what I'm going to do right here, and I'm going to hit load all. Pops back up with that same window. This was the factory dash. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so it has successfully changed all these little numbers, and now I'm going to write it. Yeah, I understand it's going to overwrite the module. You can't undo this. My dash disappeared. My dash popped up. Dimming. And all those cross traffic, blah, 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 blah. We now have a fully functional 8-inch dash. Now I got to go in though and change a couple of settings. I want to change my mileage and my engine hour. So let's go into the configurator and do that. All right, you can see though, now that it's in, it still says 90,202 miles. Well, that is not how many miles this truck has. So we go over here and under IPC, it says odometer right. Do that and we hit play. It's only necessary if you put a new customer, which we have. We want this done in miles. Current miles is 90,202. This truck has 148,725. How I got so lucky as to actually have an even number, I don't know. We're gonna hit OK. It says, you cannot change this. You can only correct this if you install a new instrument cluster. But my truck has 148,725. I wrote it down. I'm sure that I want to continue. It's going to start writing. Dash just shut off. 100%. It says 148,720. So it has 5 more miles. I'm going to adjust it. You know what? Let's do something. We got some time here. Let's go back here. All right, and we're going to stop. All right, so we're going to play the same thing. Oh, I'm sorry. So if you look right there, it says current mileage 148,724. So we're going to call that good, and I may go back and play with it a little bit more. But I want to make sure that I don't want to add more miles than it's got. But it's got 148. Says 724 is what it says. I put in 725. We're good with that. So again, I'll be correcting it. If I ever get rid of this truck, I'll be putting the old dash back in and selling this one. So there it is. The odometer is fixed. It's reading down there so that I can track it. So right on, rock on. We'll do a after action report on this one too, but it's in. Let's put some stuff back together. Well, guys, that's another install in the books, and I cannot tell you just how awesome it is sitting here with the leather and the dash. It almost feels like I'm in a real truck. But I'll put an editor's note in here to let you know what the outcome was. This dash came out of a wrecked vehicle, obviously, so the airbag light is on. Hey there, editing with Kev, and this is where I'm going to talk about my airbag light, because I want to be able, just be honest with you. So everything's working. The dash is working spectacular. The steering wheel is spectacular. It's fun to drive now, the truck. Like I said, just those small upgrades, especially since I saved well over $1,000, which will go into other parts. But I digress. So the airbag light is on because my dash came from a wrecked truck. There is a code somewhere within Forescan that I have to figure out to turn that off. It's just a reset because my truck's never been wrecked. So my modules in my truck, my airbag, all my stuff in my truck says your airbag's good, but it's lodged in, kind of like your odometer, it's logged in that dash that there's been an airbag deployment and it needs to be fixed. So if I can't find that code, I have checked with the Ford dealership and it's like $86 to bring it in and they'll clear it. So the dash works fine. Everything I did worked fine. I've adjusted and I can see the distance to empty. I've adjusted everything in the parameters that I need to. And again, we'll get to a Forescan video. There's a ton of them out there. But the dash is working spectacular. I just have the little airbag light on. It's not a check engine light. It's an airbag. So once we get that to go away, then we'll be set and it'll work. And I'll give you an update later what the outcome was. But I want to get this video out because this is such an awesome modification. So editing with Kev out. Enjoy the rest of the video. Airbag's still functional, everything works, so we're good there. But I'm not, again, this was my first time ever using Forescan. It is a ridiculous tool. I went in and tweaked some, gauges and stuff that I can see numbers, and there's some stuff about that. And maybe once I get more familiar with it, I'll actually give you guys like a real good video on Forescan. But I'm sure there's some sort of code because the light is in the dash, not in the truck. The truck knows the airbag wasn't deployed. So I got to fix that. So that was the outcome of that. So other than that, everything is fantastic. The mods are starting to come together. Just all the small stuff. But I love saving money, especially when I can get what I want. No, I don't have a Raptor wheel, but even if, I'll show you this real quick, and then I'm going to get out of here. But even this trim that came on the Lariat steering wheel, everybody puts the black one back on there. It matches perfectly the gauges here. Let me see. I got my truck keys. So give you one last view, and then I'll be out of here. God bless. Let's get rolling. Let me show you this. So this color here actually matches that. It's not too different. And get our key here. There we go. Hey, look at that. See, the airbag light went off, came back on, but we're good with the airbag, and obviously I don't have my seatbelt on, but more stuff coming. Talk to you soon.